Hello and welcome to CNN News 18 special broadcast. This is Kamalika. No more Google Zoom playing. We want the classroom. That's what the slogan that's been echoing in various parts of Bengal. That when will schools reopen in Bengal? And there has been also a case has been four cases have been registered, and the state government also wants to open the school, but they're of the opinion that vaccination, 80% vaccination, they are looking into. So today in this discussion that whether schools should open, like numbers have gone down below 5,000. Yesterday it was 3860, and in Kolkata it has gone below 500. And today on this topic we are joined by Dr. Kunal Sarkar, Vice Chairman of Medica. Welcome, Dr. Sarkar, to our program, and also the principal of Baliganj Shikha Sadan, Ma'am Sunita Sen. Welcome to our program. So definitely, first would like to ask the medical fraternity, Dr. Sarkar, do you think that schools should reopen now?
Kamalika, I think in even in a state of deep anesthesia, anybody would say that it is absolutely imperative that children across the age groups, right from say kindergarten, perhaps to higher secondary, etc., that schools are resumed. They go back to school. We are all completely unanimous about the deficits, about the problems it has done in the education sector, and in spite of heroic efforts by the teachers, I think online education has been of a limited success and a limited penetration. So all this is a given, right? So there is, I don't think in any corpus mentis forum there is any debate about these aspects. Now, as far as reopening school post Omicron or post third wave is concerned, we have really got to get into some of the other factors, which I'm sure is playing through the decision makers of the government's minds. Now, what are the factors? Now, unlike the previous two installments of COVID, in Omicron, thankfully, across the population, this has been a relatively mild disease, accepted. But this has also been the first experience of COVID where about 15 to 20% of all those affected has been the people who are not adults, who are of children, and it goes right down to the age group of 3, etc. Now, unfortunately for you and me, we exist, a long time ago in rural India, there existed a disease called night blindness, which came from vitamin A deficiency. And the
Right.
government had to launch a program of vitamin A supplementation to cure night blindness. It was called xerophthalmia. Now,
Okay.
right now, India needs a cure for data blindness. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because government of India is of the opinion that apart from few of these very mota course data, like your number of cases, mortality, and a few R numbers and positivity percentage being thrown at you, it is very depressing that you are a very keen journalist. Can you search any credible database after a month of Omicron having reeled through India to tell us that what percentage of the affected has been children? What
Hmm.
are we borrowing on? We are borrowing on some, some sort of borrowed data from UK, some borrowed data from USA. And if you look at the borrowed data from UK and USA, and the only data in the domain is piecemeal impressions given by journalists.
Hmm.
Journalists have walked through doctors' clinics, spoken to hospitals, and got some impressions.
Right.
So, if we extrapolate the overall global experience, then I'm sure today, supposing you were sitting or Ma'am Sen was sitting in the decision makers' chairs, what would play through your mind is that number one, look, a certain percentage of children has been affected. Number
Right.
two, we are emphasizing on vaccination, fair enough, but we all know for sure vaccination doesn't prevent infections, very little. It prevents serious disease.
Hmm.
And point number three is that look, in our kind of society, in our kind of hyper reactive political situation,
Right.
look outside the city limits, look outside the city limits, or
Hmm.
even inside the city. Like
Right.
today morning, Ma'am Sen and lots of other schools have taken in a few good tens of thousands of children into the classroom.
Hmm. Hmm.
Within 48 hours, say in a certain geography, you have a few hundred children who are reporting with sore throat, fever, flu-like symptoms, etc., etc.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, have we attuned the teachers? Have we kind of informed the parents that look, don't get panicky about this situation. This may
Right.
happen.
Hmm.
Have we created some counseling or feedback loops from the medical fraternity who can stand beside the parents and the students
Hmm.
and tell them
Right.
that look, it will not be very severe. So,
Hmm.
Kamalika, in summary, I think that we are trying to take an instant, politically polarized opinion of what is essentially a social problem. The two
Hmm.
main
Right.
variables are health and education. So let
Right.
us put our minds together,
Right.
create the right environment, create the right information. So even in
Right.
Maharashtra, the first week, the response has not been fantastic. Why?
Right.
Because
Hmm.
80% of the parents are not really informed.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know,
Right.
parents
Absolutely.
a parent is focusing on a child. A parent is
Right.
not really influenced by the overall global or national picture. So
Right.
my last point is that fair
Hmm.
enough, all these points are there, but we really need some data to come into the forefront, and we need the government. Look, the education minister or ministry, what's the harm in them coming out and discussing with people? That look, we are looking at these factors. That is why we have asked for another week's time, or it is information blindness and it is data blindness which is causing this sort of a very very vitriolic situation which is best avoided.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you were rightly pointed out that, this is more of a social point rather, to shout it out, to slogan and to do politics on that. And that is the very important point. And here we'd like to ask Ms. Sen, what is your take on this? And really, this trick, in whatever Kunala pointed out, that is not there. So, what is your take on this? Should the schools open up? And if it is opening up, what are the factors that should be taken into consideration?
I think I'm going to take on from Kunalda and whatever he's just now mentioned regarding health and education being the two very important factors that we have to take on. And uh, from 21st of March 2019, we've not seen children in the campus the way they should come. And the most important aspect associated with that is the children are losing out on their normal upbringing. I think
Absolutely.
school forms a very, very important part of their growth, not just physical growth, their mental growth, their
Mental.
social growth. And what we need to look at is orientation of parents, is rightly pointed out by Kunalda, which I have, whenever brought back children to the school, I've had an open meeting um, with parents, with the children, with all my staff, because this orientation is extremely important to give them a sense of security. We have to let them know that you cannot alienate children from the society. They are very
Absolutely.
much a part of it, and the parents are going for work. There are so many health workers whose children are at home. They are coming back. Children are automatically getting exposed when they are being taken out by the parents to
Mm.
different places, whether it be a mall, whether it be for an outing, whether it be for a holiday. So automatically the immunosystem is developing on its own.
Right.
And for
Mm.
the sake, for the last 2 years, whatever they have missed out, it's high time now that they need to come back to their normal procedure of growth. They have forgotten to smile. They have
Absolutely.
forgotten to interact with each other.
They
They,
have become timid.
they've become so insipid. I'll use the word insipid rather than
Right.
timid, because their reactions were so spontaneous 2 years back. Now they are sitting like transfixed butterflies, and they are waiting for people to tell them react.
Right.
I had a group of students coming in yesterday to the school, and I couldn't believe that they were sitting so quietly. I mean, class 10 and sitting quietly doesn't go together.
Exactly.
So basically, I personally feel that keeping in mind the psychological angle, keeping in mind their social angle and their normal process of growth, definitely and most definitely, the schools should open up, and we need to learn to live with this problem. We need to know how to deal with this problem. We need to now know that in spite of everything, our life has to go on. Because of the vaccination camp that I had opened up in the school, and my class 9 to 12 students were vaccinated for 3 days and 4 days. It doesn't matter. Even I had the COVID infection and I
I just
was
recovered. Hmm.
quarantined for 2 weeks. It's so all right. And I've gone back
Hmm.
to work, and it's just a part of life, and we need to live with it. We need to learn how to fight it out. We can't just shy away from something which has now become a part of our life. So, why stop the normal course of interaction and normal process of growth? I feel schools should open up.
Yeah, it's actually affecting the overall growth of a student, and this student, the childs, when they will come go to 20 or 30, then they'll face the blue that point of time because of this point of time. And Kunalda, rightly, I'll come to you. You pointed out the questions that what should be the infrastructure, the social infrastructure, the mindset now, and what are the things that needs to be done, that has to be focused. Kunalda, if another variant, yesterday only this Wuhan has come up with another variant. If another variant comes, then what?
Kamalika, I think the best precaution to future pandemics will be to put, sealed, unbreakable locks on every lab in Wuhan and every refrigerator in the Wuhan virology. So I think that will be a great precaution for the future. That's a different debate, but I have no doubt in this mind that this is a scientific adventure of gain of function research which has gone wrong. That's a topic for a different day. In continuation with what we were saying, Kamalika, I think that you see a bit of sadness today is we are discussing about education. Fair enough. And I'm greatly disappointed by the view of the government, which considers the audience either to be in opposition or to be naive, or both. Right? That is the problem because when the government is giving out its content, now why do we need the Advocate General, a very good friend of mine, no offense over there. So the Advocate General, in response to some affidavit or some altercation in the High Court, you see, there is a society beyond the high courts. That is what I want the people of the state and
Absolutely.
the common civic society to realize. Somewhere, the judiciary, the executive, the government, everybody put together thinks that unless you have the threat of some very somber judge, giving you a box in your ears or hitting you with the ruler in the head, a teacher is here with us. I don't. You are threatened by some court imparting corporal punishment on the executive. You don't give out. So first of all, the government needs to put the cards on the table in
Right.
front of the teachers, in front of the society in general, and especially the parents, and say, look, these are the balls that we are juggling with. We are looking at that not every district of the state is following the same positivity numbers or same time
Hmm.
schedule. And look, statistics is a double-edged sword. Again, you borrow a little bit of figure from the United States. It's a very
Hmm.
sad thing to remind ourselves. The mortality in children is 0.02%. Now, what
Hmm.
does that mean? It means that for every 1,000 children you will be putting in school, two of them may be at risk.
Hmm.
Do we have data of our own? 1,000 children in India doesn't mean a huge number. 1,000 children in US schools may mean a very big number.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you see, there is a disease consideration. We have to, I think we have to be brave. I completely agree. I consider Indian society without education is like a COVID ward without oxygen. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
imperative.
Yes.
It's absolutely imperative. But this kind of fractious conversation is now hanging on. Some leader of the opposition is behaving like Christ without a cross and lying down in front of the education department. You see, what is all
Hmm.
this drama for? What is
Absolutely.
all this drama for? This is
Absolutely.
making this is poor quality third class theatrics where our people, our teachers, our students, our civic society needs information that what are the ingrained issues on which
Hmm.
we are debating or discussing. The
Right.
state of
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely,
state of
Kunal.
the disease, the state of the disease. We know vaccination is no panacea. Look, once again, vaccination in this age group will not clinically affect the profile of the pandemic at all.
At all.
It is, like the football coaches gives a pep talk to the team. It is
Hmm.
Hmm.
supposed to be a bit of a pep talk to the students and
Hmm.
the parents, and to give
Hmm.
them confidence that look, resume your lives, as ma'am was saying, resume your lives. So I think much of this fractious, banal, the depths to which this debate has now sunk is almost like, for the lack of a better comparative, it's like one of these Hindu Muslim religious bipolarizations.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There from Dr. Kunal Sarkar that this is a very important point, which everybody is emphasizing that this has nothing to do with politics. This is not Mahabharat where you have gained or I have gained. This is, I mean, stop the blame game. Whoever is doing it, it should, as pointed out by Dr. Kunal Sarkar, you should come up with what is the solution, and nobody is a party to it.
Kamalika, you tell me one thing. The greatest today, it is a sad irony. If the minister or the Department of Education cannot communicate with teachers and parents in a half an hour press conference or communique that come on, cool down, this is what we are thinking about, this is what we are, you also give us our inputs. You also
Yeah,
give us. I
absolutely,
think. I think
absolutely.
some time back, ma'am will remember about some examination or something.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Government took inputs from the parents and the students. So give
I
us
think
your.
Absolutely.
I think obviously the government in coming say 7 days will be doing that only, taking inputs from everywhere. And there, ma'am would like to ask you another question: that what happens to the babies? What happens to the 1, 2, 3, 4? Vaccination is
In
possible only after 15. So there, as you pointed out, the class 10 is mum. What happens to them and how it is affecting
That
them?
is exactly what I was just now sitting and thinking while Dr. Sharkar was communicating about the problems. That they have not seen the face of the school, the 3 plus, and they are supposed to be 5 plus now. When they started school in 2019, they've not seen the face of the school at all. We don't know where their level is. So when they come back to us, whether in 1 or in 2, we are giving them the automatic promotion, but we don't know what their state is. Now, as far as an educator is concerned, me as an educator, I will have to first brush up with the 3 years of what they need to know before I
Absolutely.
give them any new knowledge. And they are so used to being in front of a camera, so used to being in front of a laptop or a phone, that I really don't know whether they will be able to start a normal conversation with somebody sitting next to them, or a teacher who is interacting with them, or whether the existence of people around the entire fraternity of students would be acknowledged by them or not. I think that's where we need to actually look into, because any disease for that matter, let's start from TB, let's
Hmm.
even get into cancer. We have it all around us. We just need to live with it. We just need to communicate to our students that there is no substitute to knowledge, there is no substitute to education, and to get their internal growth, we have to impress on the fact that education is for all and it cannot be restricted only to a privileged class. Now, what
Yeah.
is happening? There
Hmm.
are so many dropouts which are taking place
Hmm.
in the rural areas. In the urban areas, we are all privileged. We are even giving them hybrid classes for those who cannot attend school. It's a
Hmm.
real time class that's taking place when some
Hmm.
students are attending school, those who are
Hmm.
brave enough, those who
Hmm.
feel that no, the parents
Hmm.
feel that they need to stay back at home. We are giving
Hmm.
them a hybrid class and
Hmm.
they are
Hmm.
actually
Hmm.
experiencing the real time classroom. But what
Hmm.
about those thousands and millions of students who are in the villages?
Absolutely.
Aren't they shouldn't they be be exposed to the education that they should receive? And
Yeah.
come what may, you cannot substitute a classroom anywhere else for just a home scenario or anywhere else. A
Yeah.
classroom is a classroom, a teacher
Classroom is
is
a
a teacher.
classroom, and that is what where the growth is all about. Let us end in this note that obviously the point which raised by Dr. Kunal Sharma is very important. It's not about politics, it's about how we can give the right thinking, right logistics data in place so that that helps us. On the other hand, Sunita Sen, she is also pointed out rightly that we will be responsible at the end of the day when there will not be a there will not be a proper growth. It's like the Bhopal gas tragedy where still people are bearing that blow. So this is, you have to accept that a school is not a corona place, and also this entire thing is not about politics, but it is about coming together and sorting out the problem and giving the better life for our children. So that was really great of both of you. Thank you, Dr. Sharkar, and thank you, Sen, you for joining us for a special broadcast. We hope that next time we discuss, then the schools will reopen. Thank you.
Hope for the best. Yeah.
Thanks. Let's hope for the best. Thank you.